Awesome. As smooth an entrance as ever. So yesterday we had a bit of a mic issue with Scuba and Sadiq. Hopefully that's all changed today. I can see the mic levels are a lot better today. Yeah, sometimes happens on live streams. It's okay. It's fine. So today's guest we have, I'm going to bring him in right now. I'm not going to introduce his name. I'm going to ask him first. How do I pronounce your name? I was thinking either it's bRavenous or bRavenous.
bRavenous. I was wondering
okay.
You would not be the first to screw that up. It's
so this happens often then.
What's that?
So this happens quite often.
Yes, it absolutely does. You know what? It was something I came up with, well, with the help of others, 20 years ago. And every so often it comes back to haunt me as like people try to figure out why there's no dash between anything and how you pronounce it, no space. Yeah, like you hear yourself on the radio, meaning me sometimes, and people are calling you bRavenous. But yeah, what? I'm like when I talk to other people like yourself, I put a space there in between just to make sure it makes more sense to people. So.
Okay, that's fine. That's it. Because I kind of knew it was going to be bRavenous based on the way like the capital R, and I assumed it was going to be like that. So that's cool. That's cool. So again, thank you for coming in, man. Much appreciated.
No problem, man. Thanks for having me.
Awesome, man. So what we'll do is we'll get a bit into your backstory.
Okay.
So where did you grow up, my man? Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Nova Scotia.
Yeah.
Many years ago. So you know what? Now I'm in Calgary. So I did my first intro to hip hop, trying to make a name for myself. Just so I really like cut my teeth in that city. But I've been in Calgary since 2006.
Nice. So what does it seem like up in Canada? I know, like, I spoke to Fortunato the other day, and we were speaking about we were speaking a bit about the scene and stuff like that, and about like things like King of the Dot, and also Drake's huge right now, like from Canada and stuff like that. But what is the boom bap scene like for you in Calgary?
The Calgary scene is good. It's it's just it's a cool city. It has so many, the way the city's built, it has so many different quadrants where there's different people representing different quadrants. There's different promoters and just different people that really try to put on for the city, really trying to get Calgary a name in itself. It just Alberta has a pretty cool scene, all the way from Edmonton back to Calgary, Red Deer. They've been doing it for a lot of years. There's a lot of talent up here. And I've been fortunate enough to be involved, but it's one of those cities. Once again, in Canada, there's like, there's considered like the big three, big four of hip hop cities. And Calgary, gets left out. It's really trying to make a push to get in that conversation. Similar to like when I was in Halifax years ago, trying to get noticed, trying to get put in that conversation, which over time, I believe Halifax, is in there. Nova Scotia in itself, and now Calgary, ironically enough, is trying to follow that same path. And they're a big city with lots of talent, so it's because they get lots of acts that come through, so you get lots of opportunities.
Yeah, because I was thinking that there's a lot of really great rhymers that come from Canada as well.
Oh yeah,
So like Mad Child, for instance, like really great artist, really well known as well.
yeah.
There's a good bunch of good guys up there, man. It's really interesting to see like new guys coming up as well. So let's talk about your first time hearing hip hop music. Do you remember your first time hearing it?
I do. I
Okay.
was probably, man, like we're gonna go way back. I think grade 3, grade 4, and I believe it
Okay.
was those rap tracks, greatest hits type albums.
Yeah.
Um, you know, definitely in the 80s. I think if I remember correctly, the one I was listening to at the time had the Humpty Dance on it. It had, man, even the Turtles song that is timeless, TURTLE power from the first Turtles. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that, and I fell in love with it pretty much right away. Obviously on a cassette tape, just playing it. And then I kind of found my way into, a little more of the vulgar type hip hop when MWA was kind of doing their thing, and I kind of just everything took a step, and then I kind of moved into the death row stuff from there, and then I found New York after that. It was just like one piece after the other. I mean, I've been hooked ever since. That's for sure. Like
Hmm.
grade 3 and up.
So like, did someone convince you to get into like start making your own music and stuff like that?
Oh, I think I was always trying to convince my friends to make it with me. Tell you the truth,
Okay.
that was the catalyst. I remember back in the day, we do things like, we had no access to stop tapes or anything like that. So I remember, or we no access to studio stuff, so we do stop tapes. Sorry. So that's
Mhm.
where, like somebody'd have a cool instrumental on their actual track, and they'd ride it out for a bit. So you try to take that, dub it with one cassette player, take the other cassette player, and try to, that's the extent of what I was doing. But I was starting that, like in junior high, like grade 8, grade 7, just trying to tapes with my friends. And, sometimes we'd steal half the lyrics from whatever song we were listening to and just try to re-rap them. And then we started
Okay.
trying our own stuff. But, yeah, like spoiler alert, we were pretty terrible back then, but at least the passion. Yeah, I was always the one trying to push people into doing it, at least in my group of friends.
I always wondered, do you ever plan in future to sort of put up some of your old stuff? I know that some stuff gets leaked later on in some people's careers. Do you ever plan to do that?
Uh, you know what? I do kind of throw up some of my old stuff, like with my rap group, the CVG, that I kind of started in.
Okay.
Some of it good enough to be up, some of it, is cringeworthy. So I try to be careful from history, but I try not to find it all the time. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
uh, it's something that I think would be appropriate for people to listen to. Other stuff is pretty awful, but I do like a lot of material, so it's you don't ever want a fan that you got way back in the day that might like that stuff a lot. I would never try to turn it down and be like, oh, that's terrible, listen to this. I respect people that would know so much of my catalog, even back in like the early 2000s with like my hip-hop group that I was kind of doing my thing with before I kind of branched out.
Hmm. So let's
Yeah,
let's talk about the group. So how did that start? I'm assuming you started this the group.
definitely. You know
Yeah.
what, started, there was two phases to it, actually, the CV. um the first one was like the junior high guys that I was telling you about, like making tapes in our parents' basements. One night we'd go to this buddy's house. Next weekend we go to this guy's house, and we just take turns making tapes because we'd be so loud that we couldn't just be at one house every time. But
Mhm.
so that was the tape that, like, kind of like the junior high school days where we weren't in the studios, just kind of doing it ourselves with lack of quality. And
Yeah.
we ourselves a CVG strictly because we like DPG so much in the dog pound. We didn't even know what CVG meant. We're just like, well, let's call it something similar. So CVG. So, and you know what? Over time, it became unique because we liked the name so much and people knew us by it that we just kept it and then tried to come up with our own way that we could work off that acronym of the CVG. So we come up with names to go with it. So the CVG kind of came back as we started going to studios a little more. So the original group were just some of my buddies, like close buddies. Only one of them from that actually stayed in it, and then we kind of formed a new CVG with other buddies and people that we kind of met along the way. That kind of took it a little more serious at that time. So yeah, there's kind of two. But yeah, we definitely have a little following in Halifax. We do cool, like, you know, we had like pretty cool shows, and you know, like just it's always cool being in a group, especially when you're trying to come up, because especially the way that group was made, because one of our members was from one end of the city, I was out in Rockingham, and then somebody else went to another high school, so you got pulling in fans from all different members, right? So it kind of got us a cool start. So there's like 5 or 6 of us in the group. So yeah, we made a little name for ourselves, and we had a lot of fun doing it. There's nothing like being in a group, so if you're getting along, which we did. So
were you working on solo stuff like the whole time you were with the group, or did you branch out a little bit after that?
Yeah. So the group, we did one album together that we actually put out. We did another one that we never officially put out, but it kind of got finished, but just kind of, you know, life took over and we kind of went our separate ways. But yeah, we put one album out, and ironically enough, we called it the Retirement Album because, you know, I don't know, we're just trying to be unique. And in the end, it was kind of foreshadowing, because we thought we'd call it the Retirement Album, and then we would make another one called like the Comeback Album or something. But the Comeback Album never really got to come out, and we actually did kind of retire after the album. So, you know, that kind of meant is like we're getting to a point where just going our separate ways, trying to, you know, try to establish ourselves in different careers as well, not just music. So yeah, ironically, our only album was called the Retirement Album, but it, you know, it had a little radio play, and we had a cool following. So
that's good. So it's all about the solo stuff. When did that kick in?
Solo stuff. So I moved, like the Retirement Album kind of came out in like right before 2006. I decided to go to Calgary. I wasn't sure it was going to be, you know, permanent, but it, you know, I thought it was going to be temporary, and I ended up sticking around here. So when I got, once again, I was like, geez, I don't really know anybody. I'm trying to, you know, just figure some life things out. And then the first solo one I did was called Out of the East. I just kind of got back into it. I was just, you know, you're on Facebook, you're seeing all these other artists from Halifax putting out albums and being successful, and I was like, man, like, I really kind of miss this, and I want to get my throw my hat back in the ring a bit. So I met my buddy Hamilton, who started Badmouth Entertainment with me, and we worked on putting Out of the East together, and you know, we helped out a lot. Just working with somebody, having ideas to bounce things off of him. So he kind of handled a lot of the you know, just trying to get the album off the ground stuff, doing shows. He also does, like, he comes on stage. He's a hype man with me. So we kind of had this whole Badmouth around then, and that's how we started putting out albums. So yeah, Out of the East started, 2012 we released it. But we were kind of worked on it since, you know, 2010, 2011, and it officially came out in 2012.
Awesome, man, awesome. So what do you, oh, sorry, what was that?
I took quite the hiatus, you know, and that kind of, for you know, if you follow the pattern, I've taken many hiatuses throughout my like just weird breaks, and you know, year, 2 years, and then that one happened to be like 5 years. But yeah, you know, and then things just start to, you get that feeling again, and then boom, you feel creative and you miss it, and then you just start rolling again.
So did you like take a break before COVID and then like come back after like COVID kicked in, or was it nothing to do with that? Or?
I came in, well, when COVID started, I kind of was, I just finished an album that Brock and I once again, I put 2 out under Badmouth. I think Out of the East came out in 2012, and then The Sunset Never Looked So Bad came out like in 2014 or 15, and then we kind of took a hiatus again. You know, I was having babies and a couple kids, so I just, you know, was kind of doing a lot of that stuff. But you're still, you know, putting in that time in the car, freestyling, working on music, never really in or whatever. So I was still mentally active, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
But then, I took a little break, and when we took the break, we kind of had a bunch of material done, like half done one album, which was called Land of the Stranger. I just remember one night being at his place, and he's like, "Man, we got to finish this album. It's pretty good. Let's put it out." And in my head, I was like, "Yeah, it's pretty easy to record a couple more songs." So we put that out. And once again, I didn't have my own studio equipment at the time because I was so old school. I had to, find people that I could record with at the time. So that we got Land of the Stranger out, and then that kind of brings me to where we're at right around COVID. I remember my buddy Christ Sampson, who's from Halifax and mixes all my stuff and is a other talented artist. With my wife secretly saying, "This is crazy. Like, Rav needs to be able to record himself. You just need to let him. You got to help him. Like so behind the scenes, they're working on getting me recording equipment for Christmas and this and that." So
Nice.
COVID started in March. I got recording equipment that Christmas just for a gift from my wife. And, if I didn't get it, we wouldn't be sitting here right now talking, because I wouldn't have been able to be active. I wouldn't have had any studios. I wouldn't have been able to do anything. And it's just a blessing. So like when COVID hit, I had a booth. I built a booth, had all my microphone stuff, and I was able to be active and just work on music, obviously, like so many artists did. So it's just, I don't know what happened, or you believe in fate or whatever, the stars align, but the amount of material I could put out with that much time on my hands was pretty ridiculous.
It was, again, as hard as it was for a lot of people, the whole COVID situation. It's still here. It's not gone, but it has breathed some new light into a lot of people. It gave me, for instance, like the chance to interview pretty much anybody, because they were just in the house doing nothing anyway for a long time. And it's been a blessing and a curse at the same time, unfortunately.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, exactly. A lot of artists, you try to turn negatives into a positive, and like so many really said, okay, I'm gonna take on this avenue. I'm gonna think out what I got nothing but time to try to find something that, helps the mental state, or just, no better time than now. So like all the artists, as tough as it is for performing and stuff, obviously for a lot of artists that, we're struggling not being able to do shows and get paid that way. The positive from it is there's so many artists sitting online trying to be creative, making connections that you're going to keep. And, everything gets back to normal, and that's personally, I got to work with so many people, meet so many cool producers, and and just I try to focus on the positives, and I really got to so many good things happened for me during that period of time, music wise. So.
Mm-hmm. And again, there's about probably 10,000 extra different podcasts that came out of that. So you could plenty guest spots available. That's it. So what do you do when you're not making music, man?
You know what? I'm just a dad when I'm not making music, realistically. Okay. I like playing sports. I like to try to be active, and I try to be the best father I can. So music, nice. That release of music tends to help me refocus. It's like a little break for me. So you come in here, you don't want to be cranky. You want to treat your kids the best you can. So obviously, they can be a handful. Everybody knows that, kids. But that's just helps me. Music gives me that break, and then my wife's great about it. She knows I'm trying to go down and be creative. Come back upstairs, good mood. So
awesome, man. Awesome. So, what albums or artists are on heavy rotation right now on your playlist?
Oh, geez. What I just was listening to a lot recently. I don't know. Quake Matthews, artist from Halifax, put out an album called The Myth X. I've been playing a lot of. And you know what? Sometimes with me, just the way Spotify is right now, I'm getting into just songs, just finding different groups that I kind of neglected over time. So I've been doing a lot of People Under the Stairs. I've been listening to the song Acid Raindrops a lot. I don't know. You know what? And I've been really trying to listen to a lot of Black Buffalo artists, actually, with the label that I've connected with. Just trying to familiarize with all the material they're putting out. And I'm the first to admit sometimes I'm not as aware as I should be with new music. It's not that I don't respect it. I just you're always working on music yourself, or you're, just trying to listen to the same old artists that all the time because
Yeah.
just know I love this song, I love this. So I'm really trying to make an effort to try to get into some newer material for
Yeah.
sure. So,
I think, again, we kind of suffer from the same issues as well, bloggers. We get sent so much music constantly that it's really hard to like take an interest like really in what people are doing. A lot of the time, we would listen to like new singles and trying to like, sort of fast forward through albums to find some of the best bits, if to find out if we can post things, and it's just hard to listen to a lot of stuff nowadays.
yeah, and I'm even trying to. I've yet to put out a single. I feel like I
Yeah,
can't ever put. It's weird. Like I mean, I probably should. Everybody does, and singles can be
yeah,
really just. I think I'm so caught up in that old school style where you put out albums and this and that, and even like you're trying like people that are really in the know try to tell you make your albums shorter, do EPs or put out singles, just because they talk about how the listening has changed and with the technology and everything that's at your grasp, people don't go out with albums anymore like they used to. But you know what? I haven't really switched yet. I'm thinking to bridge the gap between the new album that I'm working on, maybe put out some singles from it. But I, it's almost like pulling teeth. I'm like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if I can do that. Like, I'm just LPs and stuff. I haven't even put out an EP before.
all right, okay. Well, how are you for like visual work and stuff, like the videos and stuff?
You know
Finishing
what?
videos?
I used to have a couple videos out back in the day, but I've just taken them down. Like I've kind of developed this like this trendy ghost. Like I'm like, you know what I mean? Like if and I'm kind of rolling with this theme of like, yeah, I'm known in like the underground movement a little bit, but I'm not really putting out many videos. I'm
Yeah,
just like putting out material and fans pass it along, and the fans that have been there forever do it. Not that I'm against videos, but I just think I wanna find a video that is high budget and I can really do a good one before I put one out. But I'm definitely gonna have to definitely push towards that again at some point.
yeah. 'Cause I feel like a lot of sorry, yeah, like a lot of house parties and stuff that I go in nowadays. It's usually the center of attention is the YouTube playlist a lot of the time. And
Right.
I feel like if a lot of artists have like a visual representation there, it seems to work in that sense.
Definitely aware, and that's why I'm like, yeah,
Yeah,
okay, cool to be the whole like, the ghost. Uh,
yeah,
but it's a cool, I like to push that as trendy to because I find it's like becoming cool to really, especially for youth these days, to be like I know about boom bap hip hop, I know about old school hip hop, artist that artist that artist. So I like to kind of test being off the grid a little bit and become trendy to know who I am. So I was rolling with that for a bit, but I totally get it. Like there's many people that are doing like Twitch stuff where they just play videos now and stuff. So I'm like, okay,
yeah,
it's time. And now with Ed the Sock coming back with the new Much Music, that was the huge in Canada for so long. He's coming just an online video show where I'm like, okay, it's time. There's so many more platforms for videos right now, so I gotta
Mhm.
doing that.
Awesome,
But
man, awesome. So let's get into a bit of fantasy role play in a way. That seems weird, but we'll move on. So this is the dream collaboration section, I like to call it, where we figure out all the people you want involved in a track, dead or alive,
oh
and then
wow,
we name the track at the end if possible, if we can.
okay, oh man,
Okay.
okay,
So I'll go through like a list of things. You tell me who you want to appear. Okay. So guest MCs, dead or alive. Who would you
mm,
like on this track?
okay. I don't know if they'd want to. Like, it'd be weird to do it, but I'd say Tupac is my
Okay.
absolute favorite. And we don't really sound anything the same. It's just one of my favorites. So I'd obviously uh, want him on a track. Uh, Biggie, I'd want Biggie on a track. I'd
Hmm.
want
I can imagine some difficulty behind the scenes on that one.
yeah,
Just a
yeah.
little.
Hopefully they'd make up by that time, or I could help squash the beef. But
Yeah.
yeah, J Cole I think is really cool. I'd like to do something with him.
Mhm.
Uh, try to move to Canadian wise. Shad, I really like Canadian wise. I'd like to do something with him. I've talked about that. That'd be a cool collabo. Tupac, Biggie, Shad.
J. Cole.
Oh, they'd probably
Soon.
kick me.
Okay, so a singer, you have to get involved as well. A singer.
What was that? Sorry, you cut out there.
A singer.
Singer?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Michael Jackson.
Oh, that's who was the second one there? I missed that.
Prince.
Prince. There you go. There you go. Could you imagine a collabo track with Michael Jackson, Prince, Tupac, and Biggie? That's
Yeah,
just.
but if I could pull that off, I'd be all right. Like that'd be. I need more tracks after the thing.
Definitely, man. Definitely. So, producer, who's on the beats?
Sure. Dilla.
Yeah.
She's Premier.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Dre.
There you go.
I think those would be my big three
Mhm.
producers, hip hop wise. Yeah.
Just sort of see them working together like as a cohesive unit, trying to put a beat together for this track as well would be killing its own.
I mean, they're all geniuses. So I Premier
Yeah.
talk putting Dre in his top 5, so that's a good sign. I know they sound a little different. Premier and Dilla would be pretty easy to like. They're pretty similar with the way they sample them. I don't think that would be too difficult. But Drake, like a little off to the side, but he's such a genius. I would have no problem working with Dr. Dre. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I think he'd be quite happy working on that. I'm sure he would.
yeah.
So on the cuts, who do we have DJing, performing scratching?
Oh, I'd have to go with Premier for that, but I'd also have to man Fester. So I try to stay totally loyal to my own DJ
Nice.
uncle. I think I would pull him in for anything big like that. So obviously.
Awesome, man.
Yeah.
So a guest musician, like a guitarist, a drummer, or an oboe player. I don't know, like whatever you like.
Well, I think Prince could play guitar. He's a great guitar player. You know, I think he could do the guitar.
I like that, using the people that are already in the studio with you. That's a great idea.
Yeah, absolutely. Drummers, I'm not. Who's that? Maybe I'd bring in what's it from the crew, just to get the party going.
Okay, right. So that was it. So the track so far: Tupac, Biggie, J. Cole. Oh God, I can't even remember.
What else did we say? Tupac, J. Cole,
yeah,
Biggie.
yeah, Biggie, yeah.
Then we had Prince.
Then we had Prince, Michael Jackson, Dilla, Dre, and Premier producing. Premier on the cuts, your friend on the cuts as well. Guest musician was Prince because he was in the studio already. Why not use him? And fantasy track here. What do we call this track? Considering everybody that's on it.
I don't know. Jeez, like I don't think they'd let me name it. I think I just.
Do you think they would swipe you aside and be like, "Right, you're going to fucking name this, son"?
Yeah, I don't know. I'd be happy to be in the room. Maybe that's what I'll call it. Happy to be in the room.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Happy to be in the room. I love it. Love it. So, okay. So, what's your best and worst gigs you've ever had, man?
Gigs?
Yeah.
Oh, I think we talk about it all the time. I've had some great experiences. Obviously, I've met some really cool artists. But one that the CBG I always talk about. It's so it's just something for them. We did this show on Canada Day, and you know what? There was a lot of members in the CBG that one guy wouldn't be there, and one guy. But it was a one time we were all there. Our DJ at the time, DJ Pills, was there, and it was just such a cool, fun experience. I remember we did it at Planet Pool, and such a cool show. We did it there, and it was pretty awesome. So that was one of my favorites. I got another favorite too. We did one at a place called the Speakeasy in Halifax. It was super cool at the time. I couldn't even tell you where it was because they really sold it as a speakeasy where it's tough to find. But
I love that. Yeah.
to do it, and they did $2 drinks, so the place was packed, and it was super fun, and I'll never forget it. And we did it with a bunch of other acts too, actually. And we went on. I think we went on last, but we did it with a bunch of other cool Halifax acts. It was super cool. One of the worst ones I ever did, I think, was up here. I think Brock and I were doing a show, and we were trying to have like a weekly night, and we showed up, and I think it was nobody was there, and we had to perform to tender, so it was pretty brutal. Energy, with a hype man doing that is hilarious. So that was one of the ones that sticks out as not good. Another one I remember, we got cut off midway through because we were late, it kind of sucked because we were like, oh man, we had a set and it went long, leading, and they cut us midway through, so it was really brutal. I remember that too. That was a different one.
That sucks, man. That sucks when that happens.
I know. I think. And for the Outlaws too, which is pretty cool. And we got cut off midway through. So,
Did you ever see? There's a video on YouTube. I can't even remember the artist's name, but he got booked for a gig, and it was a small club, and the stage was a sofa.
Oh, really? No, I've never seen that.
I can't remember. If I ever find that video again, I'm going to put it up on the hip-hop heads somewhere. But yeah,
or not. Maybe it'd be cool to do the rapping on a sofa.
Well, it may be, but whoever the artist was not happy.
Yeah, I can see.
He seemingly had a lot of shit with the promoter, early on during the day and shit, and the guy seemed like a bit of a scam artist, obviously getting him to turn up and perform on a sofa. It was pretty weird.
Yeah.
Unfortunate, man. Unfortunate.
That's crazy.
So we're nearing the end. Do you have anything you would like to promote before we go? We're going to play a track from you after this as well. So anything you want to promote, go right ahead, my friend.
You know what? Just keep, I'm just so thankful for everybody streaming Flaunting Imperfections on whatever they're doing. And the streams are going up. It's pretty cool to see other people listening to your album. It's flattering. Just keep looking for it. Keep streaming it. Means the world. And keep checking out, other Black Buffalo artists. They got go to their website, blackbuffalo.ca or Bandcamp. So many cool artists on there, and it's cool to be part of the label working with everybody. So I know, and my man Uncle Fester, he's in a group with a couple other guys, Sean One and Monarch, and they're just about to release Presidents of Canada. So make sure you go pick that up too.
Awesome, man. There's a couple of comments left. I'm going to go through these quickly. Sean Wilson, salute at Jux Diamonds. Thank you, Sean. Chris Cartel, salute from New York.
Cool.
Salute from North Carolina, from Watkins to General. Josh Cravala.
Yeah.
Ride It Out.
Yeah, that's an old song of mine, yeah.
Okay, right. It's okay. I thought you meant the interview, just write it out, it'll be okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, again, thank you. Sorry, what was that?
It's an old song from Out of the East, actually.
Nice, okay. So, again, thank you for coming on. We'll get the track here. We had Cranberry from the latest album. We'll throw up some links and stuff as the video is going. Thank you for joining us, and I'm going to let you go, my friend.
Thank you very much, man. Thanks for having me. Keep doing what you're doing. Holding down for hip-hop.
Man.
Okay.
Excellent, man. Catch you later, my man.
I'm blowing up spots for knots in the millennium. Radiate enormous. I'm trying to get a clutch of what I could not touch.
See, I'm gifted and blessed. Got it like this.
I'm blowing up spots for knots in the millennium. Radiate enormous. I'm trying to get a clutch of what I could not touch.
See, I'm gifted and blessed. Got it like this.
Now as I struggle for position, resonate for the clearer vision. Examine right and wrong like I was studying religions. Another birth baptism, analyze another written by an average man in search of riches. plan to share the science, school the business to two sons as they build together, grow and build alliance. Help them multiply their minds with whatever gifts I find, and maybe after time we can chill and kick it. I move different, forever be tied in our tentacles to tug the tentacles as I wrestle with time. Hands off the merchandise, another addict, clothesline with mine, sharpshooter to grind, sound a seat in the scene. Hello, by Sacramento, still entangled knots, come up pursuits from different angles, peep the elements. Now crack a bottle, here's the craft of solid models, help me persevere till tomorrow.
I'm blowing up spots for knots in the millennium. Radiate enormous purity. I'm trying to get a clutch of what I could not touch.
See, I'm gifted and blessed. Got it like this.
I'm blowing up spots for knots in the millennium. Radiate enormous purity. I'm trying to get a clutch of what I could not touch.
See, I'm gifted and blessed. Got it like this.
Now listen, watch the notes hit the dome. You could even realize you could be satisfied from all the saddest songs. Yeah, my template bugging, cause I know the bags you lugging can make you quit and quickly get to buzzing. Look, in and out of consciousness, feet up on the ottoman, thinking, man, I gotta give a lot again. Lil Sexy gave me 2 little ones to pop, but still break necks, turn a hit into an in the Parker. Yo, put you up on the flow, can't put a finger on the feelings or the weight that I tote. Sometimes you stay high, sometimes you just low. Sometimes I'm mental ill and by the time with the show. Never feel like the wind, but I know how it blows, so I learned that to win, you need to let it go. Document the diaries, cause the illest bars can help me battle the hypocrisy.